is the best Pixar film? Let's get into it right here, right now. If you remember back in many a moons ago, I did a video doing the best Pixar films according to Twitch streamers. Let me know what you think about my tier list in the comments down below. We're going to do a lot more content like this in the future. So I'm going to start off with what won the video, the number one film according to the streamers that we asked last year. It was, of course, Toy Story. For me, Toy Story, the first Toy Story, it has to go in S tier. It was the first proper Pixar film that we all remember. It's some iconic characters, iconic lines. We're not flying, we're falling with style, isn't it? Is that the line? Have I just butchered that? I don't know. But it's not A tier. You can't put it in A. Toy Story S tier. If you've got a problem with that, argue with your nan, because we already know it's S tier. Okay. Also, that Woody and Bo Peep sort of narrative. It really, like, when I was a kid, I was like, oi. Go on, Woody. You know, he gets a little kiss at the end. I was like, hey, okay. You know, that evokes something in me there. Yes, I just said I was attracted to a toy. Moving on to the next film. Got Bug's Life next. Bug's Life, I think, is a fantastic film. But yeah, Bug's Life, I love this film. One of the things I like about it the most, and I think you guys would agree with it as well, you know, the water droplets. You know, the water droplets when they eat. There's something about Pixar and the food and the things that they eat in it that's just very, very good. I think it goes A tier. I'll be honest, I think Bug's Life goes A tier. Let me know what you think in the list of Pixar. There might be some rearrangements later on in the video, but I think Bug's Life is A tier. Obviously, there's a whole narrative of like the crickets are keeping the ants in at bay, and it's like quite a good little back and forth there. And big up the caterpillar. Can't remember your name, buddy, but you turned into a beautiful butterfly. You really did. Okay, so we've gone from that one to Brave. D tier is going to be, I have never watched it. I've never properly watched it. It has to go D tier. It has to. Next up, we're going to go to Cars. If you watch the video, you'll know I had a big old back and forth about Cars. It was the thing that spurred and sparked the whole debate of why I wanted to start this conversation about Pixar films back a year ago. That time flies, doesn't it? Cars, look, I did slag it off, but I do enjoy the film. It's not top. Basically, I asked my mate years ago, top 5 Pixar films, and he said number 1's Cars, and I laughed in his face. I said, you fool, because it isn't Cars, but it's a good film. And I actually think it is A tier. It's a good film. But there's definitely films above it. Cars is a great film. There's a good little message behind it. There was one little TikTok I saw of one of the scenes when, Lightning McQueen's just won a race, and then these 2 fangirl cars come out, and then they flash their front headlights. Guys, that was supposed to be like a joke about flashing. Like, Pixar's good at this. Disney's really good at this, making like little innuendos that the adults are going to understand, but the kids won't. All right, we're going to go quickly, swiftly on to Cars 2, which did not have the same success rate. That is a C tier. Probably even pushing D tier, actually. I've only watched it once when I was younger, and I didn't think it was that bad. But then in retrospect, it's like, why is he a spy now? That's a D tier. Why is he a... You know what? Let's go lower than Brave, because why is he a spy? He was just doing up NASCAR racing. Big up Lightning McQueen, fast car, woohoo. And now he's a spy? It made no sense. D tier. Alright, it's time to go into one of the best films ever. Full stop. Not even just Pixar. Some of the best music. It's got to be Coco. Alright, we're flying through this one, guys. Coco is, I think, better than Toy Story 1. Coco is unbelievable. I love this film as well, especially considering it was one of the newer generation of Pixar films. Back in the day, there's obviously that childhood nostalgic feel to a lot of these films. Coco was out in whatever year it was, 2017, 18, I can't remember, and I still enjoyed it as if I was a wee boy. And I cried. I put my hands up, guys. I cried. All right, judge me, because when he's singing "Remember Me" at the end, it's got to be top tier. Next film, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is a great film, and it's automatically going S tier. That's 2 S tiers in a row. Obviously, Nemo goes off, and that whole like scene where he gets caught up in the thing, and then there's a whole chase of like the dad Marlin trying to find his wee boy. I like it. I like it a lot. I love this film. There's so many great individual moments in it, like the jellyfish scene, the turtle scene, even when the seagulls, mine, all of that. I think you'll struggle to find a better film. People don't put this in their top 5. I was surprised that Finding Nemo actually wasn't said that much in the video that I asked those streamers. I generally think it is pushing top 3, maybe top 4. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You know what, should we do my number 1? You guys already know this. Monsters Inc. I did say this is my number 1 film from the Pixar video that I made last year. Monsters Inc. is absolutely brilliant. I love it. They went from we need to scare the kids to just make them laugh, and great characters in it. One thing I love about, more specifically, the oldest Pixar films is that I think there was so much more uniqueness within the characters. Like one's like Cars, and then Monsters, like look at the look of them, and Sully and Mike Wazowski, like there's so much diverse like looking things, and it's so colourful and so nice, and I don't know, maybe it was, again, maybe my childhood nostalgia towards it, but I think Monsters Inc. has to go S tier. The concept is so good, like so good, and I already said it in the Pixar video, but that boo scene at the end, the emotional thing, a lot of these, if I get emotional at them, then they're going to be high up on the list. That's why Coco and Monsters Inc. are probably my 1, 2 or 3. Easy. Speaking of Monsters Inc., let's go to Monsters Inc. University. Obviously a sequel, not the, I'll be honest, the majority of the sequels of this, other than Toy Story, are lower down the list. I think Monsters Inc. University has a really fun scene, you know, when they're doing all the trials and doing the games. But other than that, I actually think it's a C tier. I think it's a bit forgettable. Big drop off there from S tier to C tier. But you know what? You can't. It's hard to match that energy from Monsters Inc. Alright, we're gonna do really quick speed round of films that I haven't seen. So Lightyear can go there. Still haven't seen Lightyear. Good Dinosaur, never seen it. And then Turning Red. Turning Red, I watched half of it and then fell asleep, so I'm going to put that near the bottom tier. All right, next, that B tier is looking a little bit quiet right now. That B tier is looking a bit quiet, so let's fill it out with one thing that I'm going to put in the B tier. Ratatouille. I don't think Ratatouille is in that upper echelon. I don't know if it's because I've seen it too many times. There are some great moments in it. I've just seen it too many times. I don't know if do you ever have that with films, when you watch it too many times, it kind of squanders it for you a little bit. I think it's a very high B, and it's basically an A. But you know what I don't like about it? It's rat propaganda. You heard me. I don't want to. I hate rats. Got a phobia of them. Mice and rats. You know that first scene? It's kind of like trivial. It's like, oh, the old woman shooting the rats. She's like 60,000 rats in her flipping floorboards. And we're laughing, and we're kids just watching these vermin just swarm her household. No, thank you. No, thank you. And also cute. Oh, the rats are running the kitchen at the end. Oh, that's sweet, isn't it? No, thank you. This is a 5-star restaurant. If you went into a 5-star restaurant and you looked in the kitchen, you saw some rats chopping up or doing up some cheese and stuff. No, thank you. It's one of them films that's a silly concept. Stupid rats. From a silly concept to a fantastic concept, Inside Out. This is A tier. Inside Out is so good. I think it really tackles a very interesting topic about, you know, puberty, mental health, and your hormones and your mindsets and stuff, especially during the age that they explored in it. It's such a unique sort of topic, a unique exploration of the thing, and you know, you've got so many good moments and the memories. And like, one thing that I didn't like though, you know, when they're just running around the little memory bank and all of the glasses fall off, it's all these memories being lost. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this girl's gonna get amnesia. So she's just gonna forget things. Just calm down. You're messing up this little girl's brain. All right. But it is a great film. Some of my mates have said that it's not a good film at all, and I'm just like, what are you on about? Are we watching something different? Because this is fantastic. Finding Dory, another sequel. I remember watching it and never really being that enticed by it to the degree of, you know, other films. Maybe again it's because I was a bit older when I watched it. Let me know what you think, guys. Finding Dory, does it stand the test of time? I don't know. I'm gonna go, I think it's below Monsters Inc. University. I think I prefer the characters in Monsters Inc. University than I do with Finding Dory. Let's get back to some Toy Stories. Now this could be controversial. Toy Story 2, S tier or A tier? It's S tier. Above the original or below the original? For me, I think it's my second favourite Pixar film. Toy Story 2 is so good. You know, you've got the Zurg being like, I am your father, and like there's so much stuff, you know, the Woody getting polished up, the introduction of Jesse and Old Man Pete and all that stuff. Like, I think it's such a good film compared to the first one where they're just introducing the characters and stuff. But I think Toy Story 2 does edge it for me. I know a lot of people would put Toy Story 1 above Toy Story 2, but for me, Toy Story 2 is in my top 5. There's only one more film yet to go in S tier, but I'm going to leave that for a little bit later. Let me know if you can guess already what that is. One of the other controversial ones that I have here, is Up. Up for me, Up is top of C tier. Up is top of C tier. I don't think it pushes B. I think other than the first 5 minutes, the intro, you know, that really sad scene, it actually gets me every time I watch it. There's no doubt I won't get upset when I watch that. I do think it's just C tier. I don't enjoy the rest of that film at all. One thing that does push B tier, I think, is Soul. Now, back in the day, I wouldn't have put that there, but that film, the look of it is just so good. The when he's doing the piano at the end, it's so good. And I think the discussion of like purpose, this is what I mean. Pixar films, as much as like, you're probably looking at me like a 22, almost 23-year-old guy, why are you talking about Pixar films so passionately? Well, because they were massive when I was a kid, but they also have so many elements in them that mean something to you in your future as well. Like, you can watch this film as an adult and take something from it. Obviously, like the deeper meaning or the deeper thought process of like, what's your purpose in life and stuff. And this character, I can't remember what their number is, but they don't have a purpose, and then they find their purpose, and it's just like, You go. This is such a good film. Onward for me, I think is top of D tier. Not very memorable at all, really. I did like the concept. But I think because they're all like magical, I don't know, it didn't really hit the same way as like something like Monsters Inc. does. I think one of the big things for me is the characters themselves. Like, are they really like impactful or creative or poignant? That's why maybe Up isn't as high, because they're just human beings. Whereas like Coco, you've got the afterlife and explored, or Bug's Life is ants. Do you know what I mean? Onward is fairy tale, like elves and stuff. Like maybe that's the reason why I think it slowed down. Obviously had Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, big old pool there with the celebrity people. Like, think of the other films, they're probably the two biggest celebrities in a singular film for Pixar, and I just don't think it edges it above a D tier for me. Alright, it's time to go to that extra S tier. It is gonna be Incredibles. Incredibles, I think, just goes below Coco for me. But the whole concept in this film from beginning to end is so good. It was mentioned a lot in the Pixar video that we did. I don't think there's anything bad about it. And I think most of these films, you know, they do even better when they have like a memorable scene, you know, like Frozen, Where's My Super Suit? Just the syndrome, and you know when he gets done in with the tar. I remember I got really claustrophobic when I watched that scene where gets done in with the tar everywhere. But yeah, Incredibles has to go S tier. I don't think it can go anywhere else. I think it has to be S tier. But unfortunately, another curse of the sequels. Incredibles 2 can't go S tier. It can't go S tier. I think it goes into C tier as well. It is going to go C tier. I'm going to leave it there. I haven't got much to talk about it on. I know that, yeah, I can't even remember anything. C tier. Alright, let's go into Cars 3. Cars 3, I like this film, you know. Cars 3, I think it is a C tier, but I think it's above Up. I did enjoy this film, like the whole dynamic of he's too old to race anymore, and he's not as good as he was, and, you know, the newer generation overtaking him. It was a nice, like, end to his arc as Lightning McQueen. I think that does go C tier. We can go skip past that straight away. I don't think these films in C tier, I'm very impartial to them. I think anything above C tier, I have a bit more of a stronger connection to, or memorable thing to, or more of an attachment to. That's why C tier is just C tier and D tier. I'm very impartial to these films. They didn't have that much of an emotional impact on me, other than Up's intro. Actually, no, because of Up's intro, it has to go above. Up's intro does make it at top of C tier. That's it. Imagine that. That's how good that intro is. That's how good the Up intro is. Just that alone is good enough. All right, Toy Story 4. I think this one was unnecessary. I think it is another C tier. It has a nice ending, so I'll put it above Cars 3 maybe, but I think it is a C tier. There wasn't that much more necessary, I think, for them to do. This was a bit of a cash grab, it felt like. One of the funniest things about Toy Story 4, actually, when I watched it, I went to the cinema with my mum and sisters to watch it when it came out, because obviously Toy Story is a big thing during our time growing up. And one of the jump scare bits, you know, like the big like henchman, and it jumps around the corner. Cinema is not packed out. It's got a few people here and there, whatever, but there's primarily kids. And tell me why my mum gets jump scared. She's like proper screams in front of the cinema. It's just like, oh god, we were just dying in the corner at the top, just laughing our heads off, because my mum gets jump scared in a flipping kids film. I think WALL-E is a B tier. I think it is the lowest B tier. I don't like it that much, that's for sure. There is a film above it right now that I'll end on quickly. Luca. I did like Luca, you know. Watched it during lockdown, I think, or when we were at uni. We did it on like the, you know, you could watch the Disney Plus all at the same time, me and my housemates, so we watched it all, and I really liked the film. Like, the only thing I didn't like about it is at the end of the film, yeah, so this kid's about to get speared or whatever, get killed, and then finally at the end when you know, he gets accepted and as a fish, the two older women that are eating ice creams or whatever they reveal their form as fishes, or like the other people do. And I was like, well, are they going to just sit there and just watch this kid get killed and just hide behind their human mask or whatever? But I think the concept here is really cool, and I like the dynamic of it, and yeah, everything about it. I really like this film. It was a good another one that has a distinct, unique style. Fish that come out of water turn into humans. Like, I like it a lot. It was really, really good. Final film now. We're going into Toy Story 3. For me, this is top of A tier. It should be S tier. I'm flipping up between A and S. I can't have 3 Toy Story films in the S tier, can I? Can I? It's definitely. Is it in the same caliber of Inside Out? No, I think it is better than that. I think it is better, because you know what it is. I think I'd have it above Toy Story 1 as well. I think it is it in the S tier, because you know that final scene when they were holding hands in the furnace. That hit me. I remember that making me proper, like, just, I don't know, just. It's still to this day when you watch it, it's just like, because Toy Story was my thing as a kid. I grew up with Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, and it was a big gap to Toy Story 3, and I remember just like this was such an impactful film for my childhood. Yeah, I think Toy Story 3 does go in to the top spot. above Toy Story. Let me know what you think though, guys. That's my list. Let me know what you think of this video. We're going to do more tier lists in the future, okay? Thanks for coming on through. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Thanks for coming on through, and I'll see you when I see you.